Hi, today we have Muni Pavan with us. He is he graduated recently from one of the US university. So he'll be talking things about his journey. How did he prepare for various things? So let's get started. Hi, Muni. Thank you so much for joining us. And let's begin with your background, your educational background.
My educational background, I did bachelor's in electronic and communications
Okay.
from JNTU Hyderabad, and then I was doing MBA, Masters and Business Administration from Chennai Institute of Technology and Management, and
Okay.
then I started my job with Standard Chartered Bank, which was like a business analyst. So where I was putting in my marketing skills, and then there was some IT stuff. And then I decided to go for IT and do a master's in IT. So, and then I
Okay.
came to the United States with I don't remember the exact college name. It's Midwestern State University. It's in Texas. So I got admission. I got my visa for that college, and then within one semester, I moved to Georgia, Columbus State University. That's where I finished my graduation.
Okay.
At
And
Columbus State University.
what was your major? It was IT.
Yeah, it was IT. It was complete applied computer science. It covers all the stuff, website management or networking or anything. It's a generic IT and computer science. Nothing specific to one aspect of IT.
Okay.
So I graduated in 2016, and then since then I was been working with various clients. It's almost 3-4 clients.
Okay. And currently you're working as, what is your designation and for which
Currently, I'm
company?
working as a senior Azure DevOps engineer. I'm working for Unclient Navigators.
Okay.
So
that's where you're working. Okay.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about your application process. Tell us about the colleges that you applied in US and how many of them offered you admission?
I think at that point of time, the score, my GRE score was around 1100. It was for 1600 at that time.
Okay.
Right. So my score was 1100, and then my IELTS score was 7. I've applied for Midwestern State University, that's from Texas. And then there is a Wichita State University. I know where is it from. There's one more college I've applied. I can't remember, but there are 3 colleges I've applied for. I got admission for all 3.
All the 3.
All the 3.
And was there a particular reason why you chose this university over others?
I was looking for the part-time opportunities, right? Like campus job opportunities, part-time job opportunities as well. And then I've been contacting students through at that point of time through Facebook or some other media. And then I was trying to ask them for the job opportunities and how there is some of the colleges, they offer some discount on outstate tuition fees. Not all colleges do, for international students and all. So at that point of time, Midwestern had some sort of off on the outstate tuition fee along with. So I joined that, but then through one of my friends who was already studying in Columbus State University. I think they are waiving almost 50% of our state tuition fee. So then I had to transfer there and yeah.
And I wanted to know in general, what kind of criteria should a student have in his mind when choosing which university to enroll into in case if they have admission from multiple university?
I think first they should look at the curriculum and they have to analyze their background, because I have when my colleagues, my peers from colleges, some people were even from civil or mechanical background, from electronics background, and then some are from computers, and then some are from biology background as well. So so what happens is, for example, a biology background person, the college would give him mandatory prerequisites to do, such as they might give you 3 or 4 prerequisites, the basic computer courses. So to finish the prerequisites, 2 of your semester would go off. That means actually you're not starting off your master's yet.
Okay.
So people, whereas some other colleges, they're not giving that many prerequisites, maybe 1 or 2. So
Mm-hmm.
I've seen people coming there, and then depending on number of prerequisites the college gives you, they try to look for other colleges and move out and all. I mean, some people might already have some basic IT skills, but they don't want to do
Mm-hmm.
prerequisites and waste money. And I mean, if you don't have a part-time job in a campus job and all, and you end up paying money and all, and you don't want to do all the 3-4 courses. So I was given one prerequisite, so I was fine with it. So I was
Mm-hmm.
given this thing. So they have to see if they have any prerequisites. You know, one or two should be fine. If there are more, some colleges strictly they compare. They ask you to give your courses what you did in bachelor's,
Mm-hmm.
and they see what if that's actually filling the criteria of prerequisite to actually start the master courses. So that time they would not give any prerequisites. So whenever you're applying for a college, you get their course structure and all, and then
Mm-hmm.
you ask you see them if they're giving you any prerequisites, and you try to give them what you have done, that you already have a basic IT skills. I don't need
Mm-hmm.
prerequisites and such stuff and all. And then people who are concerned about financial, they can ask for any waivers in the out tuition fees or something. Or
Mm-hmm.
there, if people whose primary criteria is for uh, you know coming with bank loans or something, they want to do a campus jobs and all, and you don't find much campus jobs there. And then they realize, once they join, they realize they want some college which has more of jobs and all, to so people move around colleges. So whole the point I've seen that is, good thing is you should not transfer colleges. You should do very less as possible, because
Okay.
for my uh, at one point of time I had a question on my case where they said I studied 2 colleges,
Mm-hmm.
but that was not point case. I only transferred from one college to another within one semester, but it was like, it's like I was doing two kinds of I studied in 2 colleges.
Okay.
I think the one college which you go for, you have to make sure you don't move out from that college that easily. Stick with the
Okay.
same college. So you have to, I think, contact people who are already on studying students, and then look at the locality area and stuff like that. So
That's
um,
something which they should plan in advance so that they don't
yeah,
end up,
yeah,
doing, they do only core subject than doing
yeah,
prerequisites.
yeah.
Okay. All right, makes sense. Now, let's talk about your GRE and TOEFL, which you, told us the score. I want to
Mm.
know, how did you prepare for these exams? Did you enroll into any online courses?
Yeah, it was in 2011 I wrote my GRE, but
Mm-hmm.
I came very late. 2014 I came to States. I was in Hyderabad, so I attended an in class training for 1 month for GRE, where
Okay.
they had weekly practice tests or something. And after that 1 month, I had to prepare myself, whatever material they had. I
Okay.
had to prepare myself and give some exams and all stuff. And then IELTS was complete 1 or 2 day preparation I had to do, because it was a basic English. I
Mhm.
thought I would do it, but fortunately I was able to get 7 score at that point of time.
Okay, so it was
So,
not
but
great.
then, yeah, it was not great for me. But then it's
Mm-hmm.
been now 5 years, 6 years. And last year I was thinking to apply, have IELTS for Canada or something, just to have
Mm-hmm.
my IELTS score, because it was invalid that one. And
Okay,
then
so
I gave my IELTS.
okay, is there a period that it stays valid only for this
Yeah,
duration?
GRE is for 5 years. I
Okay.
think IELTS is for 2 years.
Okay.
So both my scores got like they're
It's not
expired.
valid now in
Yeah,
case
so
if you
I
want to
thought to
enroll.
have an IELTS score in future if I
Mm-hmm.
want to try for even Canada opportunity or something. And then just like 5 years back, I took 2 days of time to prepare, but I wasn't able to score the same score.
Okay. And
Yeah,
I,
I got 6.5. Within 1 month, I had to prepare and give. I got 7.5. So I think its preparation is very good. It should not
mm-hmm.
be, even though some people will think that our basic English is very good. That's what they're
Mm.
looking for. But the timing and, how to do it is, even the basic exam is very, if you want to score 7.5, I think it's basic. You have to prepare
Okay.
with every aspect of this IELTS. Yeah.
Okay. And I want to know, when you were taking admission, was there a cutoff, GRE cutoff that your college was, having as a as a mandatory thing to have people enrolled?
I think they had, because I was going to some consultancy, and
Mm-hmm.
then my score was not that great score. It was 1090, almost 1100. Right
Mm-hmm.
now, I think I should be around 290 or two. I don't know. I'm not sure what's the
Okay.
matching something. So, and then the colleges which my friend were applying for, like Texas A&M, they all had higher cutoffs. So I wasn't
Okay.
able to make such colleges. So there was this
Mm-hmm.
consultant who had this criteria, right? These colleges are okay with above 1000 score, 1000 to these things, and we applied for that. And he told me there are some few students who are already there. So we chose those three colleges, and depending on that.
So you took a
So
help of a private agencies or
yeah,
consult.
private agency. Yeah.
Okay. And would you like to name that agency so that, our viewers can
Um,
also reach out to them in case if
yeah,
you remember?
I think it's SN Global.
Okay.
I don't remember. I think it's SN Global Education. It's in Hyderabad. They're still operating. SN Global. Yeah, I think it's
And
SN
how
Global.
much money does these kind of consultancies charge
Mm,
you?
I think they were at that point of time 5,000 or 6,000 rupees.
And they do all the homework on your
They do all
behalf.
the paperwork and all. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Okay.
yeah, there is.
And Pavan, I lost you. You there? Your voice is
Can you hear me?
breaking. Yeah, Pavan, I
Can
lost
you
you
hear me?
for a while.
So there is, yeah, there was at that point of time. There's a popular chain of consultant for
Mm-hmm.
this US. It's called I-20 Fever. It's around the India.
Mm-hmm.
So what happened is there are so many students going through I-20 Fever. I've also consulted them. I've been there, but the importance given to me was not as much as, because there's a lot of students preferring those kinds of chain consultants. So I was looking for a private, a small consultant who knows, few. So
Okay, who can,
yeah, yeah,
concentrate on you instead of
yeah,
just
yeah,
doing their work. They are one-on-one with the student.
yeah.
Okay, yeah, makes sense. And in your opinion, it's better that you seek, help of these agencies to
Yeah.
ease off things from your shoulder.
Yeah, and sometimes like maybe one of your friend or someone or friend's brother or someone who is already in the States, you want to
Mm-hmm.
apply for that college, but then you come to the consultant and you say you want that college. He might not say help you for applying for that college, right? The consultant
Okay.
might only be showing you 10 colleges. I can only do for these 10 colleges. So
So
in that,
do they have some kind of tie-up with these
yeah,
universities?
I think they have
Okay.
tie-ups. I think what happens is sometimes uh, even the few colleges, I think for recruiting HR department or someone, they actually come to India as well.
Mm-hmm.
They have a meeting with some of the consultants, or then sometimes these consultants, they go to states and then they talk to those people so that they can pass on the applications
Mm-hmm.
from here and all. So they have this tie-ups and all. Some people do
Okay.
have. Yeah.
So that ways becomes little easier to to
Yeah.
get an surety that you're gonna get
Yeah.
admission with this score.
Yeah. So if you know a college and you don't find a consultant who is applying for that college because they don't have tie-up, it's actually
Mm-hmm.
not complicated to apply by yourself as well. Just an email.
Okay.
Only thing,
Mm-hmm.
all the documents you have to keep sending them through courier or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
Even that is not a big process to apply by yourself and all, actually.
Okay. So I want to understand in case if your consultant gave you some idea when it comes to US university, what plays more important role? Is it your GPA or your GRE?
To get the admission,
Yeah,
is GRE. Yeah, it's a scores. Yeah,
GRE.
yeah,
At least in your college, you are very sure that's the GRE
yeah.
which matters
That's
most.
a GRE. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Now let's talk about your visa interview. How was your visa interview?
It's been 6 years,
Yeah,
so
long time. Okay. So do you have any tips or suggestions for
yeah. I think
aspiring
my visa
students?
interview was, they wanted to know, like most of the people,
Mm-hmm.
they want to, if you're applying for a college, they want to know that, do you know about the college? Why did you apply for the college? That's the basic question. Like,
Okay.
do you know about the college? Did you look at their course structure? Do you know what
Mm-hmm.
they offer? do you know how is the campus and all? Because everything is online. You can see the website, you can see me groups and all. They want to make sure the student knows which college he's
Okay.
gonna join. Not just blindly he got an admission. Why you chose this college? Another particular reason. You should be
Mm-hmm.
prepared that I look at the course. I spoke to one of the professor as well, that
Mm-hmm.
this is what I'm looking for, like, okay, I like this stuff and all. I like their number of research projects, something that okay, what this college is going to help you, how is this college going to help you. So
Okay.
yeah, they want to know basically what it is, and that's the criteria, like questions regarding the college. You make sure you know everything, why you are applying for this particular college.
Okay.
And then other questions like financials and all are basic for which are everyone.
And do this consultant even help you with this entire process, collecting documents and all on your behalf?
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he
They
does.
do all these things.
Yeah, they do
Okay.
all the stuff. Yeah.
And now coming to the other aspect of a very important aspect applying to US is a loan. Now, did you take any student loan for your masters? If yes, then it was through which bank or financial institute?
No, I didn't think. My dad was spending his money, so
Okay, so
yeah,
he has supported you. All
yeah.
right.
I actually had the idea of taking the loan, and then I was contacting banks and all. But
Mm-hmm.
then the interest and all, it's a challenging thing. So I had to figure it with my dad, and we didn't go through the loan,
Okay.
fortunately.
And
Yeah.
I also
So
want to know, Pavan, do these consultant even help you recommend banks with whom they have tie-up? You didn't need it, but for
for
other
the
students,
loan,
yeah. Do they help you with
um,
that purpose too?
no, for the loan purpose, no, they haven't.
They don't. Okay.
No, probably they would tell you other student experience. Maybe a Punjab National Bank was helping. Well, I know one of maybe some banks
Mm-hmm.
was doing it and all. So you can directly approach the bank. Actually, yeah.
And
I
get
actually at that point of time, we directly approached the bank. We approached an Andhra bank or some bank for
mm-hmm.
these things and all. And then of course I didn't go through it, but uh, you can ask other people. I think there's consultants they tell you that these banks the
Mm-hmm.
most popular ones students go with or something, depending on the interest rate.
Okay. Now tell us about the campus size and the infrastructure. If you can, how big is the campus?
My campus was not that big campus, but the most of the colleges which I've seen is they have all the common things, right? Depending on the size of the blocks. But
Okay.
if you compare a
Mm-hmm.
bigger college and this college, they have
Mm-hmm.
each block for each department. Even my college has the each block for each department, right? And
Okay.
there's a block for IT department. There's a block for any other MBA, and there's a block for whatever departments they have. They have blocks for
Mm-hmm.
every department, and they have a common library, which most of the colleges have. No, it's only different the sizes of the blocks, but depending on the students and all, right? So
Mm-hmm.
my college had this many blocks, and then there were a lot of students, incoming students, and then they had to uh, build a new two more blocks and all. So they were expanding.
Okay.
So
Okay.
yeah, so it's what I noticed. Whatever the colleges they have good resources for each department. They don't. It's like even though it was
Mm.
a state university more as well. The one I graduated, right? It's a state
Okay.
university. So it's a
So state university always have an upper hand compared to private
yeah.
university.
It's good. Yeah, it's good for state universities actually to be
Okay.
said.
And how was and I since it wasn't that huge, I'm just kind of curious, how did student commute for the classes?
Um, we look for an apartment. Initially, we looked for an apartment nearby the college, right?
Mm-hmm.
Walkable. I
Oh,
think
so it was walking distance.
it was 15 minutes walk, the
Okay.
1 mile or something. And then it's not an everyday commute. It was like thrice a week, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Only when you have classes.
Yeah. So we just, walk by and all. And once you get comfortable around and all, once you have a vehicle, a common
Mm-hmm.
vehicle, you can commute and all. So initially I was looking for something very walkable and all. Yeah.
Okay. And how would you describe the campus environment um in the university?
It
Like,
was good actually.
mhm.
if like, even though I go, it was just 1 hour class, right? So for example, a Wednesday I would have a 1 hour class from 9 to 10. So then I would go there by 8:30, and I could spend a whole day till evening 6-7 o'clock to the campus, right? So
Okay.
I have my breakfast and go there. After that, immediately I have a lab where they have computers, and then I can work on whatever assignment stuff I have. And there are these lab assistants, right? Who are lab assistants who might have knowledge on some courses. They could even help. Out of nowhere, you can just ask him that, I'm stuck somewhere, this course and all. And if they have idea about it, they will help you right in then and there. And then
Okay.
professors are always there in their rooms. They might, I mean, even professors also have their timetable, right? They might be here in Wednesday and they might not be there on Thursday or something. You get to know the timings of the professor, what times they are available, and that day you can decide to spend all day in your campus. And then I usually have lunch there, and then by evening you have a gym there, you have a pool there, uh, everything, you make your like a complete day there and all. And then I come back by evening 6 or 7 o'clock. So all the
Okay.
activities, I can stay myself there all day. We
So
have
it was
everything.
quite happening especially
Yeah,
when you
quite
were
happening.
there.
Yeah.
Okay. Now let's talk about program and sports activity. Is your college particularly famous for any program, or sports is well known for any sports activity?
Yeah, sports activities. Most of the colleges, right? The local colleges, they have these sports activities, and they're mostly into uh, American football or
Okay.
uh, American football and all, which most of our Indians we don't
Yeah.
get to play. So we were not interested in any of the sports there actually. Yeah.
And what about
Uh,
coursework? Is it popular for any particular course, your university?
mm, there's nothing such as a popular course, but uh, it's like of all the courses, there might be some professors which have very good background in their the working background. Sometimes even though it's not so popular college, sometimes I wonder how come this professor with that 30 years of this much of experience in big clients, they have this who are actually, you think they can be a guest lecturers and all, but they're actually professors and all. And
Okay.
then so for such course was networking, right? So I learned more of that course and all. So I think when you look at the professor's background also, it's
You should
the
decide
professor can
course
make the
accordingly.
course popular.
Okay,
That's what I
okay.
think.
Got it. Makes sense. Now let's
Yeah.
talk about the college facilities. Tell us about the library and lab facilities. You did tell us about the lab that, you
Yeah.
had lab assistant who would be more than happy to help you in case they have
Yeah.
the right knowledge. Now let's
Even
talk
you can apply for that lab assistance.
as a
I've applied for
on-campus job.
on-campus
Okay.
job, right? Even I have applied. There were a bunch of people. We are 10 people. We all applied for lab assistance. But there is minimum, right? You need to have basic programming knowledge or something, because if someone is asked, other student is looking for a help, a basic C programming help or something, you would have the knowledge of that. So I didn't pass through that, but even students, we can have opportunity to get the lab assistantship when you can
Those kind of
apply for that.
jobs.
Yeah.
So
And then I
now,
think they give you a stipend as well for working as lab assistant.
yeah, that's obviously
Yeah.
on-campus job comes with a
Yeah.
pay, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, library is how many libraries were there on campus, and did you choose to go to any particular library?
There was only one library. It's
Mm-hmm.
very huge library. I mean, at the
Okay.
time, it can fit like maybe 400 people or something,
Okay.
But it's library, right? So different people, students have different timings and all.
Mm-hmm.
Library opens very early. I think some site from 6 o'clock in the morning or 5 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, it opens 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock in the morning. It has everything. Like, it's very big usually. You have computers as well
Okay.
for your like any your personal stuff, like immediate stuff and all. And then
Mm-hmm.
you have big group tables which people sit in groups. And then you have it's a I think it's a it's like 3-floor library. And then the
Okay.
first floor has all these books and all, and you have all the seating area. And
Mm.
then you have a private rooms where if you want to do have a group study, you have a closed like a meeting room where you can
Okay.
go and just you can spend your time and all. And then for people who want to have their personal room also, they can find the single room. If you go to the second floor and third floor, They're
Mm-hmm.
all this single kind of meeting rooms. There's so many meeting rooms, maybe more than 50 or something.
Do you
Uh,
remember the name of the library?
uh, I don't remember it. Mostly the
Long time.
blogs are named
Okay.
on the persons, right? So
Mm-hmm. The one who was
on
given
persons.
a donation
Yeah,
for building that.
yeah. So
Okay.
I'm not good at those remembering those names. Yeah,
Okay. Now let's talk about gym and recreational facilities in the college.
yeah,
Was there a common gym for all the students?
yeah. There was some common gym for all the students. It was excellent. There was you have all the there's no proper gym trainers and all. There's no
Mm-hmm.
gym trainers like but they have all the equipments. You can do all stuff. They have and then they have a track indoor track on the first floor.
Okay.
Just and then you can have people who are interested in running. They can run for how long as the and there's thing and then there is a and then immediately you have a pool and shower you have and then you have hot tub jacuzzi also all stuff and all sauna.
Mm-hmm.
It's very good. I mean that I would
Okay.
give 10 out of 10. And this thing I noticed in most of the colleges actually they have very good recreational gym or these things are very good actually.
Okay. And what about your medical facilities and healthcare facilities inside the college?
There is one there's a medical doctor who is I think there are even timings for that doctor, not every day, I guess. There is an emergency, and then but then there is for consulting, in-person consulting. There are
Mm-hmm.
particular days, like maybe 3 days a week or something. It's always there. So since medical comes along, we already pay with the fees, right? So
Okay.
we can always make an appointment to an email or phone call and you can just go and all that. Yeah,
So
I've
there
only, I
there
think,
was a medical facilities inside the
yeah, there
college
was medical facility. Yeah,
where a student can
yeah,
go for.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
All right. Now let's talk about career center and career service facilities. How good was college with these things?
There's one career uh, team. There's a career this team where, for example, at the end of your graduation, you wanna have your resume,
Mm-hmm.
prepare your resume. So you can send over the resume. They would find out, they would make changes and all, and you can have such an appointment, and they will help you. What is your current resume? What are
Mm-hmm.
things you might add, and how the format of resume help you with that. And since it was kind of not as big as college, they even helped me that they could forward my resume to from the local companies and all, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who actually our alumni are working,
Okay.
and then they might even forward my resume or something like that to whatever colleges they know, the local colleges or companies they know or not. So
Okay.
they would give you these advices as well. I think one thing is very good was the advice they gave me. Even you can ask even for they do even take mock interviews as well when you're preparing.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think in aspect of that career thing, I liked it very much. I got a good help in that actually.
Okay. So they did prepare your resume and they
Yeah,
sent it
prepare
to
your
the other
resume. Yeah,
alumni.
yeah. They
Okay.
did. Yeah, I didn't go through that companies, but when it comes to preparing my resume and then put the right stuff in the resume. Don't put over or no. I mean, don't make the
Yeah, too
resume
many
over
things.
too
Or
many stuff
yeah.
and all and in good format. And I think they did a good job. Yeah.
Okay, that's good. And so coming to on-campus job, you did tell us that you work as a lab assistant, and
No, I didn't work as a lab assistant.
oh, you didn't work? Okay, you applied.
I've applied, but I didn't get it. Yeah.
So what are the options for on-campus job other than lab assistant?
Other than lab assistants, uh, there is a professor assistantship where you assist your professor, right?
That's
So
teaching assistantship,
that's
yeah,
teaching
teachers.
assistant, but
TA and RA.
that's more of not actually helping students. You might help students also. They're more of an ongoing research. The professor is doing it. The
Okay, you
professor is
help in that.
already and he takes help from one of you, and then he gives
Hmm.
you, you're a part of research. So whenever the research is published, it comes with your name as well along with the professor name. The professor might be doing it with other outsiders or something, whatever research is
Hmm.
going on. So you're teaching assistant or helping students in whatever that is one. And then So every professor has, some professors
Okay.
might not have it, some
Hmm.
professors might need it.
And
And
how easy
then
is to get into these kind of jobs, especially when you are a graduate student? Because I believe it more reserved for PhD student because it relates to research, or it's
no, no, there is very less PhD students in my college. So
okay,
they always preferred a master student for that actually.
okay,
So
okay.
yeah, because someone who wants to learn, someone who is, even it's an opportunity for them, right? So I think it's mostly, a master student can easily do it. It's more of a
Mhm,
research. The professor would guide you what, if he gives you what kind of one aspect, one chapter of this, we have
mhm,
to figure it out. He gives you guides and all. He gives you where you find the right resources to, gather
mhm.
the material and stuff, and how to analyze it and all. So and then you do your own research, and then present to a professor. He makes any changes or recommendations. Finally,
Okay, that was.
finally it's about good research material you get into.
And do you get a fee waiver in case a lot of, just because I know a lot of university do it, a tuition fee waiver, if not like complete 50% in case you get into RA or TA jobs?
Yeah, I think you end up. I think they will waive off all the outstate tuition fee,
Okay,
even in state. I think depending on the college, they pay you monthly around $800 to $1,000 a month.
okay.
Sometimes that is for teaching or lab assistants. There are some other
Mm.
kinds of job which is not related to your IT, but it's like they might be a campus tele people
Counselors
who,
or
yeah, counselors or something, or by calling, or you can be even part of the career development as well, as I told, right? So one of
mhm.
the people who helped me in the resume were also students who are an MBA students, right, who were working
Okay.
there. So
Mm-hmm.
you have to, whatever skills fit you, and you can apply such kind of every other departments also you can apply.
Okay.
It's
It's
nothing
not
like
restricted to your
yeah,
department
yeah,
alone.
yeah.
Okay.
And there is a telecalling department where they call up
Mm-hmm.
companies and all to come to invest in the college, or invest in the sports events, or so
Mm-hmm.
you can even be apply for that job, just making calls and companies to invest in the college events
Okay.
or something like that. So there are different kinds of departments. Everyone has some opportunity. You have a web page where you can search all this and then apply for.
And what was your on-campus job, out of curiosity?
No, I haven't done actually.
You haven't done?
Yeah, I've
Okay.
only applied for lab assistant.
Okay.
And then I was always kind of, this is a problem. I was always kind of late in seeing those, following the web jobs. So this is the lesson I have learned, right?
Okay.
You always, because you can't, it's not like, this just any other job, it's an in-campus job. The ratio is, just for one job, even the first person might get selected, because the criteria is not so too complicated. They're not looking for well-experienced person or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so even if 20 people apply, they might be okay only with the first or second student, and they would not even go for an.
So
It's not like they're
your
gonna they're not gonna scrutinize, take all the 20 interviews and decide. That
okay.
happen. Yeah,
It's like first come, first serve, more like that.
yeah. Probably
A lot of
by the
time.
time I saw the job, it was already 3 weeks or 4 weeks. Uh,
Okay. So
I was kind of late. Yeah,
you were not proactive, so you didn't land up, but
yeah.
there are a lot of opportunities for
Yeah,
students
so
who
when
want to
you
do it.
keep on following, right? You keep on following the web page whenever the new opportunities you frequent and all. Make sure you
Okay.
are one of the first persons to apply for, and you get the,
Okay, got
that's
it.
the thing you have to do.
And I want to know about your internship. Did you do your internship? And if yes, then with which company did you do your internship?
No, I didn't do internship. I didn't get to do internship because see,
Mm-hmm.
it was a midterm. It was a midterm. It was not a city, and there were only two companies who were giving internships.
Okay.
Because even there's a restriction of how far the company should be, or internship the company are doing
Mm-hmm.
it. I think it should be in a radius of 100 miles, or within the. It's not like
Okay.
you can go to work in California when you're college in Georgia. It's not like
Mm-hmm.
that. So those company had only a couple of internship opportunities.
Okay.
So it was yeah.
Way limited that ways.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I want to
Maybe
know,
that's one point a student, aspiring student, can find out during
uh-huh.
internship time how many companies are in and around. Or, I mean, what are the opportunities? Like if I want to do internship in which is far, company which is far away, would the
Mm-hmm.
college be okay? If there are some, how many companies are doing every year? They will have the data also. Some who are
They'll
actually
also have data.
doing.
So
Yeah,
it's better. I mean, that's where when you are in a big city, you get more privilege
yeah,
because
that's the
there are
thing. Yeah,
like, yeah,
yeah.
tons of companies,
Big city
New
like
York or
Atlanta and
California.
all, you have, yeah,
Yeah.
California and all, you have big city, you have very big radius, and you can so I think
Hmm.
that's yeah,
That should
that
be
will
one of
actually
the
work.
thing
Yeah,
that students should keep in
yeah.
mind. Okay. And is there any restriction for international student when it comes to eligibility for internship, that you can do internship only after completing so and so credit or something?
um no, it's not like yeah, this is for sure. You can't just do your internship on your first semester.
Okay.
That's a basic thing. I think the internship, uh, uh I think it's mostly the summer internship, so always summer course.
Summer internship that student do
But in my
generally.
college, I think they had, even though, I mean, some students might just come in the spring, and then
Mm-hmm.
it's just one semester, and they can do the. I think they had 2 semesters. I think you need to have.
Yeah,
They see your
mandatory.
GPA also actually. Yeah, if
Okay.
your GPA is not good, they don't give you an internship, or they won't say that you can do an internship.
Okay.
Yeah, even
Okay. So
that's there.
those were some of
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah, yeah.
restrictions.
Yeah, it was. I
Okay.
think it's a minimum three GPA was 3 or
Mm-hmm.
something, that you're good to do internships and also.
Okay. And would you like to recommend any additional course that can help incoming students to improve their chances of getting internship or job? Something that you would have discovered later on.
Yeah, see, so when I came here, I didn't have a developer or programming background.
Mm-hmm.
So and then I had to gain that experience over while studying here, and then while actually doing real time work. But when these
Mm-hmm.
internships come, and all the students which have some of the programming background or knowledge, they had an advantage of, they obviously they have an advantage of, because most of the freshers, right, most of these companies doesn't look for DevOps engineer. I mean, these are all comes with experience. The
Okay.
basic for, starting things they look with from someone with the scripting knowledge, or programming, any kind of programming knowledge or something, right? So I think over the course and all, while doing a course or before, you make sure you stick to a couple of programs, and you make sure it doesn't have to be knowledge on all the programming knowledges,
But at least on
If you
few.
say, used to say, I know a Python and C++, be good at it, like,
Okay.
like, yeah. So,
So that's one good thing for
yeah,
a aspiring student to keep in mind. Now let's
yeah.
talk about housing. Did you stay on campus or off campus?
Off campus, right, it was like 1.5 mile, 15 minutes walk
Okay.
from, yeah.
And how did you find your house, and what kind of advice you would like to give to incoming student on finding house?
I I think before I was there, the college itself, I was trying to Google apartments
Okay.
near, yeah. So for example, apartments, like I had the zip code, right? So of the
Mm-hmm.
college. So I put the radius. I know that I don't have a vehicle. I put a radius
Mm-hmm.
of 2 miles, 3 miles, something like that. And then I try to contact them, the pricing and all. And
Mm-hmm.
then if I have a fellow members, I would go for something sharing,
Okay.
something like that. I think on campus, I found it a bit pricey.
Mm-hmm.
So when I found one more person, so we thought of finding an apartment sharing. So
So you had your apartment, you booked it even before coming to US,
mm, there, mm,
or you
yes,
came? Okay,
yes,
yes,
yeah.
that was. So
I mean,
it's
I went to that college, right? So we already my information. There was a student, um, who is a student, advisor. Should
mm-hmm.
be like, for example, for our Indian community, there were like more Indian students. They had a
Mm-hmm.
person who was like a student administrator, who his job is, uh, his job is, as like helping these students whoever new
Okay,
students come
incoming
up,
students. Okay.
allocate rooms and all this, like,
Okay. So they
stay and
even
all
provide you
something.
with those
Yeah,
kind of facilities.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. You
They
just
had
need
that.
to reach out to them and ask.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. All right. That makes sense. And now coming to faculties, I want to know who is or who was your favorite professor, and what subject did he or she taught?
And my favorite professor was Shuzen. He taught us networking management.
Networking management.
Networking management. I like this because most of the courses I did was most of the courses I was doing was more of practical. Not a much practical stuff. Kind of research stuff and all. But then when it comes to his course networking, his assignments actually is like do some real time analysis of some networking cases,
Okay.
or download that free tools,
Mm-hmm.
try to run this networking
Mm-hmm.
commands and see what output, and then share what you thought or something. This kind
Okay.
of real time stuff, where you can see that and all.
More of a
And
practical aspect and
yeah,
real-time
yeah,
problem solving then.
yeah. So something. So that was my favorite. So because along with because a person with not much of IT background, so
Mm-hmm.
I even just theoretical wouldn't help me, right? So
Okay.
these things also help me.
So I also wanted to know, since you told that you can find that there could be the coursework become popular because of the professor. So I want to know, even though that professor might not have taught you, but any professor whom you remember was very popular among students because of his achievements or contribution to work.
Mm, there was a professor who was actually the head of the IT department.
Mm-hmm.
He's basically there for the college for past 20 years. Like he
Okay.
joined as a professor over the time, researchers and all, and then he has become the head of IT department, and he's
Okay.
teaching for some of the courses. So
Mm.
I think he's been all popular before, always popular with
Okay.
even for undergraduates or bachelors and masters as well.
Okay.
He's pretty
Do you
old guy,
remember
so
his name by any chance?
uh,
Not sure.
I'm not sure.
Okay. All right. Now tell us about the student club and association in the university. And did you in specific participated in any of the student club?
Yeah, I joined in one of the student club, but I was not a much active member. There were student clubs, and when there are always new clubs coming up, and you have all these notice boards everywhere you go, the canteens in college or
Mm-hmm.
gym, and you have all the clubs where if you wanna enroll, you can just go there. And there is a kind of blog especially for that, right? So even you can just walk in and then talk to someone that I want to know what kinds of clubs are there,
Okay.
participate in any activities, any like society, social, helping the society activities or whatever. They have a list of things, events and all.
Mm-hmm.
You just want to be part of there, and so there's always a block for that, and always during the college hours, these people students who are in part of the clubs, they like to spend their times in that block playing
Okay.
games or whatever and all. So you just walk in and you find bunch of people and ask
Okay.
them and all that they will invite you probably to join the club, and this is what we are doing. There might be so
Mm-hmm.
many clubs actually.
So
So yeah,
did you participate in any such club that you wanna talk about, which you have enjoyed most?
I've joined a club. I've only been part like a couple of times, and then
Mm-hmm.
I haven't gone again. So
Okay.
the club, we did a social service and all for like
Mm-hmm.
whenever there is an event like then any events and all, some clubs volunteers that we would take the uh, uh,
Responsibility of
responsibility of
organizing.
doing
Yeah.
stuff and all, even end to end, right? Even after the event, cleaning the stuff and
Okay.
everything, right? So it's like
So that those kind.
the college doesn't ask you for, but these clubs voluntarily come for and all.
Okay.
Uh,
So
or
I.
else uh, or else if there are some online
Mm-hmm.
games, club club members, they or any any competitions in the overall in the state, these club members, they actually see such kind of stuff. Even there is an online shooting game or racing game, and on behalf of college, they try to talk to the department head, and they register on behalf of the college and all, and they try to play a group game or some. There's so much stuff they do. Yeah.
A lot of things for student in case they
they don't work as an individual club, right? So they always they have a college name that stuff.
And other than being a part of these student club and association, what all things do students do for entertainment purpose?
I think there are student groups as well. These clubs encourage you, irrespective of which club you are. They have this movie nights or get-togethers and all. And then, of course, some church gatherings and all. Irrespective of your religion, you can just gather your church. I mean, I go to church even though I'm Hindu. So after church gatherings, I went to some movie nights with the students and all. So
these are some of the stuff.
There's stuff and all.
Okay. Now let's talk about the curriculum. Tell us about the number of hours that an average student spends studying and doing homework, assignments, and project in a week.
So considering the student might be enrolling for 3 courses a semester, right? And then you have every assignment, a weekly assignment for every course.
Okay.
So it's like three assignments a week, and then they give you a deadline by Sunday night or some midnight or something, right? So, I think pretty much, if it's 3 assignments, pretty much you got to spend at least 2 hours every day.
2 hours.
At least 2 hours for this, 2 to 3 hours for this,
Other than your normal
normal stuff and all.
Okay, college and lectures.
So these hours would be, because sometimes one course, 1 week assignment or course might have a complicated one, or it's not so you can't 4 hours or 5 hours time is not good enough for that assignment. So you have to some week might be very simple, like 3 hours, 4 hours you can complete all 3 assignments. So average I would say 5 hours, 6 hours.
5 to 6 hours. Okay. And how would you rate academic pressure and workload in your program on the scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the highest?
The assignment workload I would rate in terms of
the academic pressure and workload in your program.
Workload. Let's say probably 6, 7.
6, 7.
Not of,
so
not
it was
much
quite
much
manageable.
Pressure. Quite manageable, yeah.
Okay.
Quite manageable. Because it's a weekly assignment. For example, if it's a small topic, they ask you for this thing, and they only ask for you for 200 or 300 words.
Okay.
Or 3 paragraphs, 2 paragraphs. I mean, so it depends on your research, students' research, right? I can just look at for one article and try to gather information and do. I try to look at 5 articles and make it to 200-300 words more productive.
Okay, consolidated.
Consolidated one. So, pressure workload was not much.
It was quite manageable.
But then when you come approaching end of the semester or something, you have a research project which they give you. That's actually pressure, research pressure, because that you have to do everything complete. It's just like a research project, right, with an abstract and with 1,000-word stuff and all. So
in a nutshell, it differs from semester to semester and from program to program. In your
and then also the research it's not about just doing this research and all. You have to present it as well.
Okay.
So it's just not that you gather the information to research for yourself, and they call out that these students will be presenting it today. So you might have to present your research topic to not only your classmates but even any other IT. Some people might not take your course, some students, but they still can attend in the auditorium, right? So
Got it. And let's talk about your course structure. Tell us about the course structure in your program specifically. what is that? Was there something you really like about it, or you didn't like about it?
Mm, most courses were good. There are some computation theory and computation, which is a
Mm-hmm.
mathematics, course,
Okay.
which you don't need a prerequisite for that, because we already have a good mathematics background. There are a couple of courses which just need mathematical skills, and then there is a networking and all that's pretty new for me. And then I course structure, everything was doable because you have professors and all, and it was guideline. But I found difficult. I remember, as far as I remember, I only found difficult in a website, web management, web development project,
Mm-hmm.
because we had a professor, and the assignments he gave was uh, completely practical ones. Like, you have
Mm-hmm.
to write a code and then develop a small website or something
Okay.
without much of guidelines or instructions.
Okay.
So this was very difficult. I mean, we end up asking our colleagues, other students, what is your, because
Mm-hmm.
when no instructions are given, and students try to think, no, I will do this in
Out
this
of
way.
box. Yeah.
Yeah, what do you think? What do you think? Okay, I'll also follow you. And all the class end up doing the wrong thing and all.
Okay.
And when you ask him, he says, "This is the work I have
Mm.
given." So it's hard to get what he wants and all. And then I had very tough time in that course, actually, because without programming experience, I had to, even it's a small bit of code developing you have to do, but what
Mm-hmm.
he wants is what is assignment. So I found very difficult in that.
That one.
Yeah.
Okay, especially when you are not much into coding technical stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Because this, I can't complain much about the professor, because he thinks you're already doing masters, right?
Okay.
You're
Yeah.
not a bachelor's guy. I have to
Mm-hmm.
assume that you don't know any programming or something. You're doing masters because you're into IT or something.
Yeah.
So when you're into masters, professors have their expectations.
Okay, so I
This is
think
why
this
they
could
try to
be,
give you prerequisites.
yeah, this could be a good advice for the aspiring student is
Yeah,
just, when you come to US, you be sure that uh, professors are going to teach you that you know everything, and that's how you
yeah.
assign.
Yeah,
Okay,
they know
that's,
you already have IT background. Some courses professors will be good to teach their stuff and all,
mm-hmm.
but then, because sometimes they can't, if they seem that the master student is not as good as a bachelor student in their college, so they
Mm-hmm.
expect that you already completed your
Okay.
masters and you already have basic computers knowledge or something.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not as PhD level, but you are doing masters means
You have
so
it.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So
Got it. So I want to know, what was your tuition fee for the entire course?
mm, have to. I think it's maybe 21,000. I think.
21,000. Okay, for that.
Yeah.
And was this, and is your, your insurance also a part of this tuition fee, or
Yeah.
you paid it?
Yeah. No,
Okay,
everything was part of that.
part of
Uh,
it. Okay. And
my health insurance, everything was part of it.
I want to understand what is the cost that you incurred on your food, transport, and, apartment.
So this was midtown, right? So the apartments were very cheap compared to the cities.
Mm-hmm.
Cities, I think you might have range of 1 BHK. You might find around 1,200 to 1,500 or something.
Okay.
This was like I think 2 or 3 BHK I was getting for $700.
Okay.
So
And then
it's
you
pretty
had
much.
roommates to share
You
the.
have three people sharing.
Okay.
Big. So. Uh, so the expenses were less compared to this household expenses.
Mm-hmm.
Commute was very comfortable. You just walk and all. So
So
my
even
most of the expenses would go for was uh, when it comes to sharing, right? So it comes around. It came around for me like $500 a month when I was student.
$500 a month. Okay.
Month, yeah, right. And then if we have any other activities like movies and hanging out
Okay.
stuff, that's a
That's
different
an
thing.
extra buck on you.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Got it. And let's talk about financial aid. Did you apply for any financial aid from college?
Yeah, I've applied. I think they had a financial aid for. They said they could only provide for particular number of students financial aid.
Mm-hmm.
I think maybe 10 students or something, but we all everyone applied.
Okay.
No, I didn't get it, but they didn't tell any reason also why they didn't give us or
Okay.
why they gave us.
Okay.
So
So
I couldn't figure that out on what was aspect uh, uh, they
criteria
tried to
for
do.
being
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
And I want to know, what did all the college also give some kind of merit based, in case if you haven't got it, but does college run scholarship which are based on merit based and need based?
No, that's kind of scholarships. It wasn't there in that college I studied.
It wasn't
Yeah,
there. Okay.
yeah.
All right. Now, let's talk about the placement and future plans. Since you are currently working with
Mhm.
a good company, so I want to know, how much help did career counselors or the career center provide to a student in case if they don't land up into a job after graduation?
Uh, in my college, it was since I would say it's just midtown, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the what they could do is they could my career development people they could only reach out to the companies which alumni previous students were working, right? And
Mm-hmm.
then they couldn't bring in that much as companies as I was experiencing in India, right? So in India, college I studied, they had so many companies. There were
Mm-hmm.
few companies, and then I think half of the companies didn't want they wanted citizens, right?
Okay.
They don't want a sponsored visa because still you could work, right? You have this grace period for student who can work
Mm-hmm.
after 2 3 years of work,
Mm-hmm.
and then but there were students who got into placements and all. I actually I had a little bit difficulty. I have applied to such local companies in my college,
Mm-hmm.
but then I think it was too much of students now, and I wasn't. I didn't get a call for interview as well.
Okay. So how did
Yeah,
you find your job? You applied yourself or was through this career center?
no, okay, not through Career Center. I applied through myself. I was using most of the LinkedIn jobs and all,
Okay.
and I
Okay.
was LinkedIn is always just all these 4 years, 5 years. I think LinkedIn is my favorite thing, which always I try to
When it comes to searching for
when it
a
comes to
job.
searching a jobs, either a full time job or I know a third party job or something.
Okay.
So I always like LinkedIn or something. So it took
Mm-hmm.
me a couple of months, and I had to move out to my brother's place, and then I I think through LinkedIn I found a job description and I applied, and it was
Okay.
like that.
Good. So LinkedIn could be a good tool if a student use it,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Okay.
And there is also a Dice, right? The Dice is also.
Yeah, Dice job board, you can upload your resume there
Yeah,
and
yeah. I
you
can
might
upload
get
the
potential
resume there.
calls.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And I want to know, in terms of hiring, would you like to name few of the companies who hired student from your program?
Yeah. I'm forgetting the names. There's an Aflac. There's an insurance company called Aflac,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a IT based company called TSYS, like T
Okay.
Systems.
Mm-hmm.
Those were the big popular companies in Georgia, and then they were they had their offices in my Columbus as well.
Okay.
So yeah, I've known
And
most of the I've known people working there, a lot of people working there because
from your
I was
course,
actually playing, not from my course,
but
even
in
the people
general.
who are working there in general, I was
Okay.
kind of engaging with them, playing cricket in there with them and
Okay.
all. So I know
Okay.
I've known those people well as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. And I want to know is now coming to your course, what is the general package that is offered to a student on completion once they graduate? When a company hire you, what is the general package or an average package that a student gets?
I think I've seen here packaged. I think depending more than experience, I think it's depending on the technology you're working on, right?
Okay.
They might look for example, a junior DevOps engineer. If they look for, they're
Mm-hmm.
not expecting much. for you to have much of DevOps engineer, but you know how to manage .NET, C# applications, or basic programming applications and all. I think they would probably offer you 70K per annum.
70K on an
and
average.
if they're looking for a sheer Java programmer, a pure Java programmer, they might give you 60 or 65 per annum, right?
Okay.
So, and sometimes, sometimes they look for just a DevOps engineer. They're okay with some, they pay you 80 per annum as well, I think.
Okay. So it
But
depends.
I started off with 70.
Okay. So now coming to our last two most critical question, I want to know from you if you have any advice for the future student in general, if you want to give them some advice.
I think my advice would only be the problems I faced, right? So even though career development is there, they could only help what is there within their reach, right? They can't go out of their reach to help one particular student or all the students. So if you're finding, going for a college, I think it's good to look for what internship opportunities in the because college may not provide you companies. I think first thing your student would go is what are the companies which provide internships in that city or something, right? And then of course a previous already a graduate student or student who is studying, he might have that knowledge that there are these 3-4 companies which regularly take internships, hire students from our college for internships or something like that, or so gather that information. If you have 3 colleges in option, right? Look for that. You only have 3. You think that these are the only 3 I think I can get in. But this one has more of companies for this and all. There has more scope of this internship or a job opportunity. And I think you can go for that.
Okay. And our last and the final question, is there any mistake that you have made and you have learned a lesson which you want to tell them? Like never ever make this mistake.
I think I should have been proactive in finding the on-campus jobs, looking at their websites,
Okay.
and lessen the burden for my father, dad, not to pay all stuff. So even for my personal expense, I had to depend on him. So, I mean, you have it. If I would have followed that, right, I would have. If not for I may not have been capable to do a leaders as a lab assistant and all something. But there are some other jobs which I could have followed regularly in the websites and be the first person to apply for it, And then I attend the call interview. I would have probably made some monthly. I could have covered my monthly household expenses actually.
Okay, if you were proactive.
Proactive. And for 1.5 to 2 years, saving it's almost like it's a decent amount of money I would have saved for my household expenses.
Yeah,
right?
that makes sense.
Yeah. So I think that's the mistake. That's the most mistake I have done actually. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So thank you so much, Muni, for this interview. And I want to tell the viewers that Muni would be one of our experts, and you can reach out to him in case you have any questions and concern, and he'll be more.
Sure. Yeah. Sure.
Thank you so much, and you have a good evening. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Nice talking to you as well.
Yeah,
bye.
Bye.